Good day, nerds, and welcome to the 100th episode of the Nerd Cantina Show. And I'm your host, Ken, joined by my co-host, Steve, and we're going to cover this week's nerd news. We're going to begin in entertainment talk with all of the events that happened around the DC Fandome, and then we'll move into some more regarding this fight between Apple and Fortnite, and then push over into tech news with the latest in deepfake commercials, a cyber attack, the post office getting into some blockchain, and then some space news. There's a lot to get to. Let's get started.
Calling back all nerds. Nerds!
All right, and welcome to the 100th episode of the Nerd Cantina Show. And you know, the numbers are a little wonky around here at the Cantina Show. Our Fight Me Fridays don't count, as episodes. We do
a couple Patreon ones. We don't count those.
Yeah, we do what we want around here. And
100 shows of our news and Cantina conversation segments. That's what we're running here.
So we're at 100, and regardless of what we're doing exactly what we promised we would, which is nothing special for for our milestone show. Other than our weekly news, but I guess we can have a sentimental moment and talk
I'll pat
about
myself on the back. Yeah, good job, Ken. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the greatness that has been the 100 episodes here, and I mean, honestly, it's been a great time. We've had some common themes that have come up. Some of them are back again for episode 100 now. I've become more of a nerd through the show, maybe more tech-centered nerd. I still don't pay attention to entertainment stuff, but
yeah, I mean, we've done kind of what we've always done before the podcast, is just share each other cool little tidbit articles. Now we just get to talk about them weekly and share those discussions with everybody. It's been fun. I like having all this knowledge jam-packed in my head. I cannot say it hasn't come in handy at barbecues and random I go to customers' houses every week, due to my work, and every once in a while a customer will bring up a subject, and I got tidbits of knowledge that I just be dropping on people all the time. Oh, well, did you know? No, you didn't know. You should listen to this podcast.
Here's a sticker.
I give the magnets to homeowners. Put me on your fridge. I live there.
But yeah, it's been a good time. But let's get into it. Let's get into the 100th Cantina Show here, and
we got a decent amount of news.
We do, and I guess first we could talk about. Hey, you get to somewhat enjoy your favorite event and made your way to a theater.
Yeah, I was really happy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been missing the movies. I was really excited the day I got to fire up my A-list subscription again, and the theater opened on the 20th, and I went and saw Unhinged with Russell Crowe. It was good to be in the theater and just in the recliner, big surround sound. They did it really well. Like, I go to restaurants all the time to eat, so I'm accustomed to going out during this pandemic and staying socially distant and trying to enjoy life a little bit still. And it puzzles me why the movie theaters weren't able to do this months ago. Like, I walked into the theater, my ticket was already bought on my phone. Somebody in a mask and a face shield scanned my fucking phone, told me what theater to go to. I pre-ordered my popcorn and drinks. They only have like a limited menu, so it's like literally like 9 things you can get. Pre-ordered my whole meal. I got in line, walked up, another teenager in a mask and a face shield, scanned my phone, looked at my name, had my popcorn and my drink in a bag waiting for me. Just grabbed the bag, slid it down the counter to me, went and filled up my cup. There's no butter button, no salt shakers anymore. Like, there weren't even napkin holders out there. Like,
just use your mask.
Yeah.
You got butter on your hands, just use your mask. You'll be all right.
There was no butter. There was no butter to be seen anywhere in there. And then we go in the theater, and the minute you buy your ticket online, the minute the tickets are sold, they block out the area around you. So nobody was sitting within 2 seats of me anywhere. Most people wore their mask the entire movie unless they were eating or drinking. Even when I got done eating and drinking my drink, I put my mask back on. And so I just don't understand why everyone thought like this was going to be the thing that breaks society. Like let everybody go to outdoor patios and bars, let everyone go to restaurants, let people go to church and protest, but keep those fucking theaters closed because it's going to get, we're going to see spikes like crazy. It was really frustrating, and then I watched a pretty bad movie and I left kind of defeated, but we got some good ones coming up. I already pre-ordered more tickets. Like, I'm just happy to be back in the swing of things. It was hard to write another review too. I haven't used words in a long time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, that what brings back the theaters is Unhinged, a movie.
There was a couple new ones too, but I didn't even know what these were. And it's crazy because people are trying to catch up. So I guess Bill and Ted's supposed to release next week. They don't even have that in the theater, so I don't even know if they're showing Bill and Ted because I'm going to see New Mutants on Friday. And Bill and Ted's supposed to come out the same day, and I was like, "Oh fuck, Bill and Ted 3? Like shit! Like I gotta see 2 movies in a day." And then, they still don't have it up in the app for me to buy tickets. Because I was like, maybe I'll go see New Mutants on Friday, Bill and Ted on Saturday. But Bill and Ted's also going to video on demand right away, so that might be the one where I just see it at home, watch it with a girlfriend because Keanu, and and do a review Saturday night after I watch it at home.
Yeah. I mean, it's really weird on what's going to theaters, what's not. It's not entirely clear right now, and what's been pushed back. Yeah, I knew Bill and Ted was coming out. I knew the movie was done. I haven't seen anything about it
Unhinged,
actually still releasing.
I said it in my review too. Unhinged played this perfectly because they just capitalized on the fact that people were willing to go see anything. Like the theater was full, like as full as like socially distanced you could be full. But yeah, people came to see a really shitty version of Falling Down with Russell Crowe. and that was merely because like everybody wanted to support the theaters. We wanted to go out, so we would watch anything on that screen at that point.
Well, New Mutants, I still think New Mutants looks good. So I'm hoping it's actually entertaining.
Like it's got one of my favorite X-Men in it. I'm hoping it's going to be good.
Yeah, so hopefully your next one's a good one. And then you got Tenet 2 weeks out.
Tenet, I was able to get early screening, so I'm going to go on that Monday. I'm going August 31st.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so okay. I'll have a review posted Monday night, Tuesday morning for Tenet. It doesn't release till that Friday.
Critics are crushing it right now, but critics
fuck them.
Oftentimes don't. It's whatever.
Although I do consider myself to fall in that, but fuck them.
Yeah.
I only have like 150 reviews under my belt, but fuck the critics.
It's different. The critics, they get like the 2-3 week out screeners. All they're doing is trying to get clicks on their articles, and the best way to get clicks is just to say that Christopher Nolan shit the bed, and and that it's some kind of boring, confusing movie.
Yeah.
But we'll see what your opinion is as you get to see it here, I guess sooner than I thought. And a bunch of other things in movie talk, but I don't know. Before we go there, I mean, you're already ranting about one thing. You want to just?
So I did have a thing that happened to me this weekend, and the minute it happened, I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this, and I wanted to pitch it to you and see if it happens to you or how you take this. So I'm watching Hulu the other day, and I'm watching one of the shows that like came out like that day. So you have to watch them with commercials if it released that day. You can only do no commercials if it's been aired for 24 hours. So I'm watching it the same day, and I'm watching it on my Xbox. So I'm assuming that the Hulu app knew I was watching it on my Xbox, and it comes to a commercial, and it literally puts up like a prompt with like 20 seconds for me to choose. So one, it puts me under the gun to make a life choice, and I didn't appreciate that at all.
You know, like the ones where it's like, do you want to be cooking? Do you want to be mowing the lawn? Do you want to like one of those things?
Like I was not expecting to make a vital life choice at that moment. I had to scramble to pick up the controller, and then it gave me this option. Hey, you can watch 1 30-second interactive commercial where you have to push a controller button, or we're going to hit you with 3 minutes of commercials that you can't get the fuck out of, and you can do whatever you want. And I just,
all right.
I did not like being put in that position to have to choose that at one. And then when I finally picked the interactive one, it got me really thinking that like how now they're basing advertisements on like how to sell it to people is like, well, we'll sell you this cheap advertisement slot just in the random blah, blah, blah. Or you could buy a premium advertisement spot and we're going to force that fucking schmuck to push buttons and we're going to know that he had eyeballs on your sponsored ad. And that's how they're selling advertisements now. And I honestly say, even after that 30-second commercial was done and I got back to my show, I felt dirty. I felt very I felt very used and I felt very dirty. And I did not appreciate that during my commercial break.
Embrace the fact that you got less commercial time. For all you had to do was just demonstrate that you were actually watching it, which in the advertising world, it's all about like quality impressions. And if you can be confirmed that somebody is doing it instead of up at the bathroom or whatever else, that's a confirmed impression that you were able to make on somebody during that ad. Like that's gold to them. And you were able to do that and save yourself 2.5 minutes of life.
I don't know, man. I've had the commercial-free package for a long time, and I only watch the commercial shows every once in a while, and something about being put in that situation made me feel like I felt like that mistress that dates the married man, but like in her head she's the girlfriend, and then he has to answer the call to his wife and like totally ignores her and like pushes her aside, and she feels like total shit. I imagine I felt that same way. I felt like I was enjoying this show, and then they put me on the spot and made me really like just the dirty user. You dirty user, watch this ad and click this button and fucking like it. Like I felt very abused by my streaming service, and I don't know how to handle that at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know if I should watch
you saying this. I don't like,
I don't know if I should watch 3 minutes of commercials out of spite.
Yeah,
or give them like I'm being put to work.
These
like
are
I'm already paying you people. I'm fucking paying you people. Now I got to push buttons or give you an extra 2.5 minutes of my life.
It's no different. I don't know. I don't pay for anything. So like, I've got
who am I talking to here? Like,
I've got the free account on Spotify.
Give me somebody else on the hotline that actually spends money on shit.
Spotify does essentially the same thing.
I pay for commercial-free Spotify, motherfucker. I don't do none of that shit.
But I don't. And Spotify does the same thing. You could either click to watch a 30-second ad, and then you're commercial free for 30 minutes, or they're just going to keep feeding you audio commercials every 15 minutes. So I click let's watch this thing. let's get this actual commercial done so I can get back to some music.
Man, it's something about that just makes me feel really weird inside. I don't know, man. I did not like it at all.
I'm unsure how to process your weird insecurities around this right now.
Somebody who pays for their subscription and doesn't share their passwords with their siblings, fucking comment on this episode. I need a valid opinion here. My brother's
I'm not that one.
Always lets him push that button and feel totally clean inside.
Yeah, totally fine. To me, that's a handshake with Hulu and the ad guys being like, "Hey guys, I appreciate you saving me that 2.5 minutes because I'm not going to pay to get out of these commercials."
You're the rube they love.
Oh, absolutely. Like, what do you guys need me to do? You want me to fill out a questionnaire and you're going to give me the rest of this episode? I got a questionnaire for you.
I'm paying an extra $4.99 for no commercials, and now in the middle of a show I watch, I have to hit buttons. And before when I got to the end of the commercial, it was like, if you want your show to start again, you must hit up, down. Like I do like a combination to unlock my show just to be like, we want to know you're here, motherfucker. Like you like type in this fucking passcode or your Xbox is gonna blow up. Like it's some straight bullshit, bro. I felt bad. I felt dirty.
Oh, that's awesome.
I felt so used.
I think that's great.
I felt like Hulu just threw a towel in my face and told me to clean myself up. I have the cheap Hulu version that's provided to me free from
what used to be Sprint. I think I belong to T-Mobile now. I don't know what I have. But in the end, I've never had that commercial experience. I don't know. Maybe it's because I use a Fire Stick.
It was the first time it ever happened to me, man.
Xbox.
And the minute it happened to me, I was like, "Oh my God, who do I voice my feelings to?" And I said, "I have a podcast. I'll voice my feelings to the world. Put it on the outline."
Well, people, let us know what you think. But we gotta actually jump into some news here.
My feelings aren't news.
Not one bit. Especially those feelings. Let's go ahead and jump into DC Fandome, where lots of feelings. Fandome. I actually like DC Fandome. I watched a fair amount of it. I couldn't sit with my laptop all day long and do it, but I had it on in the background most of the day, watching it with my kids, talking to them about what was going on with it. It was I think fairly well done.
I was expecting a nice polished turd, but it was a little bit above that.
Yeah, no, it was fairly well done in the sense it was pretty, like the streams were all back to back. There wasn't a lot of dead lag time. It went from one panel to the other, and most of these panels are ones that I would like. Even if I went to a con, I wasn't waiting in lines to go to panels or anything like that.
If only they could make a movie like that.
Yeah. So just being able to see, I think the first one that I chimed in on was the last couple minutes, like the Wonder Woman 1984 one, and then that rolled into Neil Gaiman's Sandman one, where they were talking about the upcoming Netflix series that's been delayed due to COVID, but they were just talking about how epic Sandman's going to be, and interviewing some of the actors and Neil Gaiman, and then rolling from there into I think it was like the Suicide Squad one or whatever else. But in the end, it was just like actual conversations that were fairly entertaining, all promotional, but that's okay. Whatever. I get the purpose of these things. I don't know. I liked it.
Well, they announced it, a month and a half ago? Like, yeah. If they just shit the bed on this, like, it was not going to be good for them.
I didn't go to any of the other, like, I just stayed in what they call the Hall of Heroes live website that just did that. I didn't go to any of the other, like, their little mini games and their other little convention type things that they were trying to replicate online. I'd be curious to hear how that mess went. Maybe that was the shit show we all thought it would be. But as far as just like, hey, just being a place to consume content, hear about the movies and hear from the directors going forward, and then see the latest trailers and the kind of the behind the scenes cuts around these movies. Yeah, it was entertaining. And then they dropped a ton of announcements as they normally would during San Diego Comic-Con around this time. And I don't know, I appreciated the event. Gives us a lot to talk about right now. One of the big ones to talk about is the stuff around Batman. So you've got not just the Batman movie coming out, the Batman. Yeah, but they also the announcement of Gotham Knights, the upcoming video game, as well as the Suicide Squad's video game and the Suicide Squad's movie. So a lot of stuff centered around
their DC's only profitable franchise.
Yeah, they're DC's biggest franchise. And I don't know, when you go into what they showed with the Batman and the panels around that, I still am pretty hopeful that they might turn out a decent movie there.
Possibly. Like it raised my hopes up to the next notch.
It did. They didn't show much of like Robert Pattinson's actual acting of
the
Batman.
One fight scene they showed, I was like, okay,
dude, brutal.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
Get some therapy, Jesus. But yeah, no, the one fight scene was actually pretty gritty and showed Robert Pattinson like actually turning out some quick hits and
the Batmobile looked
believable aggression,
a little rough, like
a little bit. I think the suit we've seen the images of the suits. I don't think there was anything new. I didn't like watch any of the YouTube videos that have been like crushing the suit or anything like that. But it looked as what we've seen in the past. Did you see like the glimpse that you had of Penguin in there?
Not like I only watched it once.
So there was a glimpse of Penguin, which is Colin Farrell. Man, you can't tell it is Colin Farrell at all. Not one bit. That dude is gone inside of this Penguin makeup. And it took like effort for people to confirm the fact that was the Penguin. And it's kind of like, it's because it's on my brain because I literally watched it like last week, Vice, where like Christian Bale plays Dick Cheney, and like Christian Bale's gone in that body, like he is Dick Cheney.
That movie, and, like I wrote that review on that movie. That like, yeah, he morphed. Yeah, he morphed.
Yeah, no, he was not Christian Bale in that movie, and like honestly, it's essentially Colin Farrell's existence is gone in his rendition of Penguin, and we criticized that casting, saying like, okay, Andy Serkis should have been the Penguin, but no,
when you say Danny DeVito is going to be play the Penguin, you go, okay, yeah, right. Like, yeah, like the role he was born to play, and then you say Colin Farrell, one of the Time magazine's like world's most sexiest men, are going to play. It's going to play the Penguin. You're just like,
Yeah. I mean, I urge you and any listeners to check out, go just Google the images from Colin Farrell Penguin from this trailer, and honestly, it's now believable to me. Like it's cemented the fact, like, okay, all right, like, they pulled off the image, so now all he has to do is act it out, and he was not a bad actor. I mean, so okay, now it might be a believable thing to me. You know, we all thought that. Who's playing the Riddler? What's his name just escaped me.
I see the face in my head.
Yeah, I can't. No, I've lost it.
But that was a really interesting costume, and what they're playing around with his story arc with the No More Lies or whatever they were doing. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, it piqued my curiosity. Yeah. It didn't make me think that it was going to be worse than expected. It does make me think that okay, we've got a little bit of potential here.
Yeah, and maybe Robert Pattinson's a little more emo than you want your Batman to be. I don't know. That's what it seemed like in the trailer.
Yeah,
but still,
I mean, he took off the mask and he looked like he came from a My Chemical Romance concert.
But that's how it's supposed to be. I mean, he's got to wear some kind of black makeup. The eyes are always black, and then they take off the mask and he's not wearing any makeup. At least in this one, they played that consistent. I don't know. I'm actually hopeful for it. And then they didn't have a Suicide Squad trailer. They just had like the Suicide Squad snippets of the making of it, and also looking interesting. Like whatever. Like
I'm a fan of Gunn, and
I think they're right when they say like that, and you could tell like they are not promoting the actors, they are not promoting the story, they are promoting James Gunn. Like James Gunn is the talent
after they fired him.
Yeah, man. Well, no, they didn't fire him. He got fired from Guardians,
and he got fired from Suicide Squad.
Did he get fired from Suicide? I thought he only got fired from Guardians when he made.
I'm pretty sure it was both, and they had to write a letter for him to come back.
But I mean, all that whole Suicide Squad thing was just all about propping up James Gunn as the savior and making what will be a hopefully entertaining movie. It looks.
It's good for the actors because if it bombs, they know who to point the finger at.
Fact. Yep.
Like
not Jared Leto.
They all have plausible deniability. Yeah,
not Jared Leto this time. They can just blame it on James Gunn for not being able to pull it all together. But no, I think that one's looking interesting. They had the Flash panel where all they revealed was like it was supposed to be this big thing. They were revealing the new suit. They didn't really even reveal the new suit. They revealed something like weird, like shadowy image of what will be something like his suit.
Part of the Arrowverse. I'm not with it.
Well, no, this is for the Flash movie, as they confirmed.
The movie. Yeah, they released the trailer for the next Flash too.
Yeah, the next season. Yeah, and Ezra Miller was on the panel, and they were talking about a bunch of things. But you get some rumors, and I think confirmation that Batfleck will come back in the Flash movie and reprise his role there. They also talk about potentially like Michael Keaton coming in the Flash movie as they're going to multiverse the hell out of it. There was a whole panel on the multiverse and how everything's getting kind of bringing in all the different Earths and trying to keep everything fucking straight.
I feel like the dude from Zoolander just coming out and be like, quantum physics is so hot now. Like if you're not writing sci-fi movies with quantum physics, you're just not doing it right.
And I mean, I still whatever. I didn't care for like Ezra Miller's Flash version in Justice League. Maybe it'll be redeemed as the Snyder cut comes out, which I'm still. I'm gonna want to watch it.
Yeah, well, they said that motherfucker is 4 hours long. They're gonna release. They're gonna release the Snyder
1 hour
cut
episodes.
in 4 1-hour episodes.
I'm good with that. I think if you're gonna do the Snyder cut, and that was part of the problem in the first place, was like Joss Whedon had to piece together all of this mess in order to fit it into a theatrical release, and then make changes and everything along the way. The Snyder Cut movie was never going to be a theatrical release. Like,
well, I just like, we'll see, man. They might just be taking a dumpster fire and turning it into an entire garbage pile fire. Like it went from just the small contained, and now we just burned up the whole landfill.
Yeah, I mean it's very possible, but either way, I want to watch all 4 hours of it.
Oh, you got to.
And see what comes out of it. But even like in the Snyder Cut trailer, the way like Ezra Miller's Flash is portrayed and the way he like talks in there is not the way Joss Whedon had him acting in the movie. Like it just seems like it's slightly different character. And so I'm really curious to see that kind of direction, see what he did differently, even on like those smaller scale things, on how he built his characters. You know, we're talking about,
I'm
the
just
difference
excited to watch a movie that a movie studio denied even existed for like 3 years.
Yeah. Also an interesting
Tinfoil hat people won on this one.
But another big one coming out of there is I don't know, they act like it was big, but like the confirmation of Black Adam and The Rock.
I mean, we all knew it was, but to see actual like drawings and renderings, and
like that was
like, man, like that's gonna be good. Shazam's the best franchise they got in DC right now, if you ask me.
Shazam was very good, and Black Adam looks like a darker,
The Rock, like how close Robert Downey Jr. was to Tony Stark. Rock is Black Adam. Like, yeah. That's just, you can't have anybody else play it. There is no, it's the Hugh Jackman role. It's the Robert Downey. The Rock is Black Adam. It was just meant like you can't have it any other way. Yeah.
And the little trailer that they put in there, just that was like the drawings being narrated by the Rock. It definitely got some of the hype up.
It just confirms that this is a thing. Coming out. It just really like solidifies that, oh, this is a thing. Like, don't forget, this will be a thing. And
then you still got, Wonder Woman trailers that you get to see.
Everybody was all hyped up for that, and like, oh, meh.
I don't really care. I still like watch her like lassoing lightning bolts, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
I know.
Like, I don't know why. In my head, I'm like, she could jump in an invisible plane right now and I'll believe it. But you start lassoing lightning bolts, I'm out. Like, all of a sudden.
I was sitting there with my girlfriend making her watch them all with me. And even she said, she was like, I get Kristen Wiig's trying to like branch out and do more things. She's like, but I just can't see her as like a serious villain. She's like, every time she comes up in the trailer, I'm just expecting her to like blow a huge fart. Just like smile. It's like, okay, I see it. Like, I get it. So. Yeah.
And I think she's going to still do some of that in the movie because, like, her character starts as that kind of quirky nerd person or whatever else, and then morphs throughout. So maybe you'll still get some Kristen Wiig farts or her stumbling and falling and making stupid faces and whatever else, and then she'll slowly turn into
she'll grow
like Judi Dench in Cats. Yeah. And then, like that's eventually what it ends up as.
I'm
at the end of the movie.
For CGI buttholes for sure.
But then I briefly talked about, but the Neil Gaiman Sandman panel, whatever else, really makes me want to see that Netflix show. And
that's
looking forward to that coming out. I think that'll actually be really well done. Netflix does normally a really good job with these shows. The fact that Neil Gaiman is so involved in the adaptation to the Netflix show himself is great. And
and
some of the actors that he has involved in there are phenomenal. So I really think it's going to play well. So I'm looking forward to that whenever it happens. I know it got some significant delays, so maybe it doesn't even happen in 2021. But
we got a couple good video games that came out of Fandome.
Yeah. We talked briefly about like Gotham Knights. I think they had like a 10 minutes of like actual gameplay footage that they demonstrated going through there.
Like a cutscene trailer for it.
Yeah, so looks looks great. I mean, these Batman
I think
games are
it's kind of
pretty
cool
great.
because they did the 3 games with Batman and really stretched out the story arcs, and I think they did for as far as writing, good stories for that franchise. I think they kind of tapped out the Batman, and I kind of like the fact that you're going to be able to choose which one of Batman's, long list of assistants you get to play as in Batman's absence. Court of Owls is going to be really cool. Like, I really kind of dig where they're taking the franchise with this game.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. And then the second game is that Justice League, or not Justice League, sorry, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game, which isn't set to launch until 2022, which means there's plenty of time for Rocksteady Games to push that back to 2023, which happens to these big games all the time. But
they did release a CGI trailer for it, and that was interesting. It was comical, but a little dark, and yeah, I don't know. It fits what
I think
what
it's a great concept.
Is. Yeah,
I think it's a great concept to then take that same Arkham kind of game franchise, the same kind of engine that you've been working with all these Batman games, and then just flip it and play as the Suicide Squad going through. I think that it's a cool concept. Hopefully it actually comes out, gets delivered on time, and
I like how they're pushing online co-op with these games. Like Knights is online co-op, no local co-op, which I can understand. Like, I don't know. I think this is like first world problems, but I have no urge to split a screen with anybody. I paid a lot of money for my TV and my gaming system. Get your own shit. I'm not trying to split my screen with y'all.
I still almost exclusively look for split screen, like couch co-op games. Like I still like just playing locally with someone.
No, man, I'll buy a second Xbox and you can sit in the basement and play on a different TV. Like, yeah. I literally did that for the first Destiny. Like, I'm not trying to split a screen with nobody.
I like to play if I play games, I like to play them with my wife. And as my kids are getting older, I'd like to sit and play with my kids in the same room. So I like couch co-op games.
I'm bougie like that. I'll multiple console it before I split the screen.
But I think that's the main news coming out of Fandome. There's more in there, but I think we've covered what everybody really cared about coming out of there. And in the end, I think they did a pretty good job coming out of the hype. Nothing that they announced really came out with was like struck me sideways. It's like, okay, this is a terrible thing.
But they did generate some decent buzz around their properties, and I think people would be talking about it and sharing the videos for a little while. And I think it accomplished everything they would hope they were setting out to do.
Yeah, I mean, Feige and I'm sure like the Star Wars and all that stuff where they would normally have their Star Wars celebration and everything else, they're all trying to figure out a way to do something similar to this. That they're going to control the news cycle for 24 to 48 hours, which is what DC Fandome did over this last weekend, that every entertainment site is just talking about trailer breakdowns and panel breakdowns and all these other things. They controlled the news cycle in entertainment for 48 hours, which is a big thing to do, around today's world. So I think Star Wars Celebration will get moved online. MCU is going to probably do something similar. If this COVID stuff continues, you might as well embrace what you've got at this point in time.
And lastly, in gaming, we have 2 articles relating to a story we started last week.
Yeah, I think you've got to enlighten me on these. I dug very shallowly on these updates here.
So from what I read, this is regarding the Apple versus Fortnite debacle that's going on due to the microtransactions taxing and Fortnite trying to subvert second party add-ons to their V-Bucks. Microsoft came to not really defend Fortnite, but kind of plead to Apple and let them know that Apple's willing to not just ban Fortnite, but ban Epic's Unreal Engine. Now, if you've played any fucking kind of games in the last fucking 10 years, you've seen that Unreal Tribal U before countless games that you play. The Unreal Engine, they said, is by far the most popular third-party engine. So if you're making a game and you're not developing your own engine to go with it, you just buy a licensing agreement for Unreal. So there are just dozens, if not hundreds, of games that use the Unreal Engine. So if Apple bans any game using the Unreal Engine, you're talking, it's not just going to affect Epic and Fortnite. It's going to affect all kinds of developers all across the gaming community that won't be able to update their game, that won't be able to put out a game they've been working on for the last 2 years. So Microsoft came out and was just like, hey guys, we really need to find a solution to this because we're like Apple's ready to hit the nukes and everybody's just like, whoa. Like, pull it back, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is such an interesting whole situation surrounding, I mean, Epic asked for this. They went into this full well knowing that they were picking a fight with a company that just crossed the like $2 trillion number of total valuation. This is a huge behemoth company, and Epic went after them in an update that they knew was going to garner this level of attention and argument with Apple.
Well, and I think they may have overestimated the amount of support that they would get from the gaming community. I think that they were really they were going to get a hashtag to trend throughout the gaming community. Twitch and YouTube streamers like come out and back Fortnite and Epic, what they were doing, and really like I think we might be the only people talking about this, to tell you the truth.
It's very possible. Because I mean the truth is it doesn't affect the vast majority of people who played. Like if you were playing Fortnite on your Apple phone, like your iPhone, like go get something better.
Well, it's not even that. It's like,
quit playing on the bus. I don't know. Who the fuck
is going to come out from the gaming community and defend microtransactions? Honestly, I think just the entire gaming community is like, fuck you both for stealing me, for robbing me 99 cents at a time, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, all the Twitch streamers are going to come out and just come in support, be like, yeah, guys, when you buy this worthless dance for your character, do you really want 30% going to another major company?
It's like that they stole from some rapper without giving any royalties to, like this dance move that they stole out of fucking thin air from a person who actually invented it, and now we're gonna come to defend who gets how much of the free fucking dollars that you make from this. Fuck you, people. I really think that everyone's just like, fuck you both. You fucking, you evil pieces of shit. Just both you die. Honestly.
I still find it an interesting thing, and if Epic can afford to take it to court, I'd be very curious to follow it. I just don't know if Epic's going to be able to hold out. In the end, Epic's the one losing. Yeah, Apple's losing a little bit, but Apple can afford to lose. Like, Apple giving into Epic means that they're going to lose on microtransactions. They've set a precedent where now anybody who's got power can try to bypass Apple's system.
Well, so they're also saying, though, if they ban Unreal Engine, then what message are they sending to future game developers? That at any moment we can just quash your life's work for whatever reason we feel like. And if that's
it's not whatever reason. It's the monetary reason. Well, if you come after our business model,
it's the monetary now. If tomorrow could be because you developed a game called Free Hong Kong, and they said "fuck y'all." Pandas running and throwing Asian people over walls on your phone. You don't, like, we say this all the time, is today it's one thing, tomorrow we don't know what it'll be. So by them doing this, they could be sending a message to developers all around the world of what it's like to get in bed with them. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm curious to see it. I hope it goes to court, but I can see Epic cracking before it gets there. Just simply because the pressure on them is greater than the pressure on Apple, and Apple won't let this go to court within the first 2 or 3 years. Like, this is going to get drug out forever, and in the end, it probably won't make it. But if it does, I'd love to see a claim of monopoly against Apple and their practices in the App Store, and
that's fact what I said last week. I wonder how this falls into antitrust laws. I
mean, that's what Epic's claiming. So I would love to see it go in front of a federal judge or something, but I don't think we get there. Not based off of the lack of support and the time frame needed for Epic to just hold out here. But I guess I mean, that's it for entertainment. We can move over into
I think we did a 40-minute entertainment section. There was a lot going on this week.
Yeah, so we can make it through. Good thing there isn't a ton of depth in our tech topics. And we can do the first one, which is kind of it's maybe 1 foot in both sides of tech and entertainment, and it's coming around Hulu commercials, which we've already spent too much time talking about Hulu commercials today. But this one specifically is about some deep fake commercials, which is why I put it in the tech segment, because we've talked over these 100 episodes we've been doing this thing. We even had a dedicated episode on deep fakes with a Cantina conversation with Adam Dodge.
Check that shit out.
Yeah, it was a good one. And if deep fakes are continuing to cause challenges and also kind of opportunities with the entertainment industry. And what we got this week was some commercials in the Hulu realm promoting their coverage of the NBA playoffs. And in the commercials, they've got NBA stars like is it Damian Lillard is in there like baking some sourdough bread or whatever else, and it was talking about people like getting out of this crazy stuff that they were doing in quarantines and now getting back into sports in real life. And people started asking the question. I was like, hey, he's in this NBA bubble. How are you getting film crews in there? How are you doing these commercials? Like that, you can't do that. The NBA bubble is not allowing it. He's not allowed to leave where he's at. And it came out that those commercials were completely deepfaked. And they were deepfaked using recorded Zoom calls, where they did recorded Zoom calls with the NBA stars, had the NBA stars kind of turn their head, capture from different angles, up and down, change the lighting, had them just say A-E-I-O-U and some other like letters that'll get their mouth moving and have them give different expressions. And then they took that compilation of all those images that they were able to gather through Zoom and plopped it on into a deepfake software, and out came a commercial where somebody else acted and did the kitchen work and making the sourdough bread, and poof, you've got NBA stars making sourdough bread, and you can't tell. Like, they are good deepfakes.
This makes me feel dirty too. This really makes me feel dirty too, because like sponsorship, that like most people that take the sponsorships don't believe in what they're selling. They're just taking the big check, and we're all just being lied to from the jump off. But we've kind of come to terms with that and kind of ignore that as a society. Now it's to the point where not only are you lying to me, like you're not even putting any effort into lying to me. Like you don't have to go to the car dealership and stand next to that Ford anymore. You don't have to, stand in the shower with that bar of soap that you're hawking. Like literally you just get paid.
Yeah.
You get a bag of money. They put a camera in your face. They have you read like random words on a sheet of paper. So like LeBron James is literally like 5 minutes, scan my face, say, boat, banana, shoes. and next thing you know, out churns the next fucking Nike commercial. And I'm supposed to buy your shoes for $250 fucking bucks. You can't even get off your fucking couch to do an ad for me. Like, man, it makes me feel dirty again.
I think when it comes to like advertisements and promotions, it does open up. You got to think like an ad agency who can hire on the next, overhyped athlete. In like you could hire them on and just say, hey, we're gonna shop you around to all these other companies as a sponsor or whatever else. We'll send you sponsorship agreements. All we need you to do is come in for 15 minutes. We're gonna put you in this big harness that's gonna capture your face, avatar style or whatever else for 100 different angles, and then you're done.
Have an agent buy those machines, put their star in there, and then he just goes around LA selling a USB of data to sponsors. Like, hey, I already got all the information you need. Just plug in this USB. It'll have his face, all his, you can put him on whatever. You want him riding a T-Rex? Great. Fucking great.
Yeah, just sounds great to me. If you want him in person riding that T-Rex, it's going to cost you $250,000. But if you just want to take this little flash drive here, $50,000. Like, I mean, it's an absolute, like, opens up a ton of doors towards advertisement, towards these like small snippets of but then screen time.
We could throw this to our fuck China segment. What do you think they're going to do in China?
No, they're already doing it.
They're going to get that USB drive and they're going to have you hawking some third-rate dish soap that burns your skin off. Like they're not going to give a shit. They're not going to follow any copyright laws, any licensing agreements. China's just going to take that USB of LeBron, and LeBron's going to be selling fucking sardine oil.
Now that you mentioned that, I'm already right now in my head thinking about the how do we make the Nerd Cantina YouTube channel just have a bunch of parody commercials with all kinds of celebrities just pawning just ridiculous ass shit.
I wish I was smarter, richer, and had more time. We would get down on that.
It would be 100% a parody YouTube channel of having the LeBron James just selling the most ridiculous shit ever.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Like that, that's when you just go through random Craigslist ads and you just make commercials of LeBron James selling it. And I'd be 100% on board with doing that.
LeBron James is about to be Eagle Man.
And, in the end, I think it opens up, it changes this advertising game and stuff like that. But not just that. I mean, as these things get better and better, there was a brand new rendition of scenes of like The Irishman that came out again this week, and they're using that as kind of like a standard for comparing themselves to Hollywood. And just some basic like at home deep fake that people are making of scenes of Irishman are 100 times better in the de-aging process of being able to bring in Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and in significantly better quality in these deep fakes now than what Hollywood was able to do in a major budget film last year. So it's going to get to a point where these movies are maybe not going to need these actors at all. It's just going to be a likeness thing, and then move forward from there.
Yeah, we're in for some like really weird times.
You're going to have some like extremely great like community theater actors that are phenomenal actors. They just might not be that pleasing to the eyes. So they'll go ahead and sell the scenes, and then you just slap somebody else's face on it, and boom, you got a movie star on you.
Fucking Shaquille O'Neal's loving this right now.
But it's definitely interesting. If you can go to thenerdcantina.com/show 100, and you can find kind of the article that we posted there. You can just kind of Google the deepfake Hulu ads if you're curious to see how good it's gotten. It's definitely going to fool you. If you didn't know, you probably weren't catching it at first glance.
I think we got to speed through a couple of these topics.
Yeah. Let's miss them. Let's miss a couple. Whatever. We've done 100 of these. We're no rookies here.
Huawei still getting shit on by the U.S. government. Nothing new there, folks.
Yep, nothing there.
Just kind of an update article. Huawei sucks.
I think the next interesting one, we can talk about the post office patent one, just because it's an interesting concept of, post office has been in the news for just all kinds of nonsense over this last week, and we don't have to talk about too much regarding the financials around the post office and moving mail sorting machines and whatever else. But one thing the post office has done.
Don't get me on that soapbox right now. Do not get me on that soapbox.
One thing that has come from all of this talk about whether the post office can handle mail-in ballots and all that stuff is apparently somebody at the post office who's tech-centered came up with this concept of, well, all right, the post office just filed a patent for a blockchain voting system that verifies identity, that verifies the citizen identity and citizenship, the voter registration data, and then through that, they can have a distributed ledger through blockchain in order to protect the results and to protect the validity and make it essentially hacker-proof to change the outcome of the results, and have that blockchain data that's gathered then get put into different blockchain buckets for whether it's a local election or national election or whatever it happens to be, and then in the end using a blockchain system for voting, which I don't know, it's 2020. I'd be on board with it.
There's just a lot of people I'm saying, like, why can't we vote online? Like, let's get more people participating. Let's just make it as easy as possible. Voting should be as easy as possible.
No, you've
some Wilford Brimley motherfucker at the post office came up with a whole fucking system for it.
You've got to fucking drag yourself through glass and mud to wait in line to demonstrate that you are a patriot in order to vote. It should not be easy, apparently. We should not take the day off. It should not be a federal holiday. I don't know. There's a bunch of weirdness around that. But
I'm just proud I name dropped Wilford Brimley. There's a whole subsection of citizens that are Googling that name right now.
No, but it's just we bring it up in the text section just because it's an interesting use of this concept.
And
of
people have been saying that blockchain's perfect for this for years.
Yeah.
They've been saying this.
So obviously somebody in a government position over at the post office who filed the patent for the post office is thinking about these things. We talked about it. That there's a foundation being ran. It's loosely affiliated with like Andrew Yang, but they're promoting a citizen portal, or they're testing out how to develop one, which is also kind of blockchain centered, to where like all of these garbage government websites and how difficult it is to get a passport and to do anything, trying to make a blockchain system that is secure. So that way you could verify identity. You can just submit an online application for things. You can do online voting.
I applied for my Illinois gun card 2.5 months ago, and it's still being renewed. Because they have like literally at the state of Illinois State Trooper Center that files the FOID cards, there's literally like 2 assholes sifting through online applications and papers. Like literally, like that's what I've been told by numerous sources, that it's literally 2 people filing all these gun licenses in a time where my city's burning and people are getting shot like crazy. Like, no need for a gun. Like, it's not like I need to rush my Second Amendment right or anything. It's nuts. But yeah, like we need to be able to do these processes in an expedited way and in a safe and secure way. And they say blockchain is perfect for this kind of stuff. So
we're not the blockchain experts. Maybe one day we'll have one on here, but
I email a few of them. They don't like us.
No, it's probably because we're not blockchain experts.
No.
They don't want to come talk to the dummies, but that's fine. We'll eventually sneak one of them in. But it's definitely an interesting use of tech, and hopefully it becomes kind of the future as we go into it. Then let's see, any other.
We always love to do the continuations of our stories, so we do have an update on that AI F-16.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. So it was the old retired F-14s that they were turning into kind of like these decoy planes that could be flown fully autonomously. This is a different thing, but it does follow up on it, and it's a F-16, virtual F-16 dogfight, so actual F-16 pilots going up against AI pilots in VR. So this isn't actually taking to the air, but these VR systems that the military uses are incredibly accurate towards simulating flight and simulating like dogfights, whatever else. It's the best way to actually prepare for a dogfight situation. And they're using complete like machine learning, kind of like the AlphaGo system or whatever else that does complete machine learning. They're doing the Alpha Dogfight is what they're calling it. And they were doing trials, and by the end of it, the actual human F-16 pilots in the simulation lost 5-0, couldn't strike a single hit on an AI-flown F-16 in simulation. And the AI-flown F-16s struck them down 5 times, 5-0, completely won the dogfight trial flawlessly. And that's after just a period of time of self-learning to be able to do so.
So I am wondering, though, because the AI is actually in the virtual system, did it have like a heads up because the human has to fly a plane in the virtual system that the AI is actually plugged into? So can it anticipate its moves a little bit better because before that joystick reacts, the AI knows that he's moving that joystick? Like, did the AI pull a Kobayashi Maru on this fucking test?
Now I get where you're going with this. I was ready to give you a legitimate answer until I realized you weren't asking a legitimate question.
No, it's a legitimate question. Like, when I hit left on my joystick, does it send that signal to go left to the AI first or to my actual program?
No, because in the Alpha Dogfight simulation, the AI is controlling a joystick in the sense it's controlling the same inputs. So it's not in the system necessarily. It is in a terminal, as in a control terminal. So it is 100%. It has no more information than the person. All it has is the instrument readings, the same information, the same inputs that the human pilot is given, and their heads-up display and everything else. That is all that the Alpha Dogfight system has.
Kobayashi Maru.
But it's important just because it's a cool concept. As AI pilots are going to demonstrate that they're better, especially at certain things like dogfights that are fairly intuitive and rapid changing situations, and to some degree a matter of like understanding just physics and flight and capacity. And if an AI piloted flight can actually defeat in like one-on-one situations like this in same planes, I talked about it in the past. Once you take the human out of a plane, you can really get planes to do actually cool shit. But the human's body cannot handle it. The human body cannot handle the G's, cannot handle the capabilities.
This is like the scary part of the future too, right? Like, so now it's not about who has the best planes and the best pilots. It's about who has the best AI. So now we're going to get into an AI race with the rest of the world. Like we already have.
Eventually.
Yeah. Well, we were already there, and then when you take the human component out of it and it's just all on the DoD budget, how many more air fights are we going to get into? Is this going to escalate wars between nations? Because fucking, we're not killing people. We're just blowing up $1 million planes all the time. And fuck these taxpayers. Like we're trying to flex on Russia right quick. So we're just going to, send 30 AI pilot, planes up. Russia sends 30 AI planes up. We let our AIs duke it out. Nobody dies. We just waste hundreds of fucking billions of dollars. And then someone gets to say we're better. Like, is this the future of war now? Like,
I think it is a future. I don't know if it's the future or when, but it's definitely a possibility as we move forward.
I just see my tax dollars going to more and more shit that really does not benefit me at all.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's do a quick talk about space.
Yeah,
and
we got a couple space topics, and we got to get out of here because we're going a little long. We're cutting a few out, folks.
This is a throwback to like episode 2, which was like an hour and 40-minute marathon session. As we were learning,
still figuring out the format. Still figuring out the format.
But yeah, so you may have seen a headline as readers or listeners might have come across this dent in the Earth's magnetic field and its potential. Essentially, there's been like a dent in the field or a weaker area in the Earth's magnetic field that spans between South Africa and Brazil across the Atlantic. And I guess people have known about this for a long time. I don't know about it, but
the magnetic
NASA
field's strongest at its poles, so it's weakest at the equator. So it's just where the magnetic fields are weakest, they're getting weaker.
And this area is uniquely weaker. And it's just kind of this not dead but weaker zone, and it's gotten weaker. It's getting larger. It's also kind of changing in its shape and splitting in a weird way. Nobody knows why. Nobody quite understands why it's happening, but it is. And they're just talking. The reason why it's hit the news is just because a very recent study has talked about how while the weakened radiation or the weakened magnetic field will no longer protect against certain radiation, that radiation is not expected to be harmful to humans. Like people who live in South Africa or whatever else are not getting diseases because they live in that area. But electronic components, especially ones in orbit that have almost no protection, they are at pretty significant risk of having like catastrophic failure over time because of it. So it's just important to track satellites in those areas and see what kind of damage is being done to these satellites, see how well they perform, see the longevity, compare satellites that are operating in those areas. Because as this zone is now being seen as expanding and changing and actually getting weaker than it has been in the past, like if that continues, maybe that spans up closer to America or some other places that we have a significant interest in, and protecting the satellites or knowing the impact on the satellites will be important.
Earth's just falling apart, man.
Yeah, let's
whatever. Go to Mars.
SpaceX, yep. We're on our way out of here anyway. All right, and then I guess the last topic, real quick. There's apparently a heartbeat detected out in space, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, this is kind of weird.
It's just weird, but apparently 100 light years away is a gas cloud that is pulsing, and there's a black hole eating this gas cloud. Essentially, they're in orbit with each other, and somehow they are like soulmates, just working together and pulsing together in some synchronous way, which is baffling scientists. I find it interesting, and I don't know how to comprehend it.
Yeah, I would imagine if you work for NASA and you're looking out into the stars and you find anything that comes in a repetitive manner, like you got to be a little freaked out. Like that's a day of work where you're like, I heard this noise in space. You're like, oh yeah, we hear noises in space all the time. Like, well, no, it's still going. It's even. It's like this is kind of weird, and
well, and in this instant, it's not even that they found it today. They were reviewing data from sensors over the last decades. So this thing's been happening for a while. Just nobody scanned it in the same way. Nobody noticed it or whatever else, and it's now being exposed and been put into publication. So like this is
when they're
old
hoping
shit.
it makes you understand black holes and the relationship to matter around black holes and how it interacts with space. Like they think that some things can come out of this.
I like to think that this was just some like pain in the ass intern that they were that somebody at NASA was like, okay, Bobby, how about this? How about you go back to 1965 and you start looking at data from this fucking sensor and see what you find? And all of a sudden that guy came back out of some dark hole 2 months later.
Eureka!
Like, you will never believe it.
Send
That's how
me
I
on
like
a
to believe
goose
this
chase.
happened.
I found fucking goose, bitch.
But all right, that's news.
All right, episode 100.
It's episode 100. We made it.
In the can, folks. It's in the can.
All right, well, here's to another 100 or so shows. We'll never really settle on how we're going to number these things. But either way, if you've listened from episode 1, I think that might just be me and you at this point that started at episode 1 and listened all the way through. Thank you. But if you picked this up somewhere along the way or this was your first one, either way, we appreciate the listen. We appreciate each and every one of them. And hopefully you were entertained. Hopefully you were enlightened by some new topic and potentially disgusted by some of Steve's opinions.
Hey, I'm not apologizing.
But either way, we appreciate it. If you've got a moment, we'd appreciate on this 100th episode a rating and review. It does help us out immensely. And I think when we release this, we're going to do a shameless begging and pleading for more people to join us over at thenerdcantina.com/community to join over at our group. Let's see if we can't tack on another 100 people or something for our 100th episode. And I don't know, maybe we'll just send out some stickers or magnets or something if we hit that number.
And you know what? We haven't begged for $1 in a while. If you are if you are listening to this 100th episode, we do have a Patreon page at the Nerd Cantina. So if you'd like to support the show and help us pay some of these bills, you can send us $1 a month, and that will get you a free sticker also. All merchandise proceeds go to supporting the show. So if you want to rock a Nerd Cantina t-shirt, hat, tote bag, whatever suits you, all proceeds go to help funding the show. You can find that at the merchandise tab at thenerdcantina.com. Shameless episode 100 plugs right here, folks.
There it is. All right. With all that done, thanks again. And we will talk to you for episode 101 next week.
See ya.